think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. Right. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Skirt, 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 skirt. Start, skirt, 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 start, start. I be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring, girl in t-shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me. Ever since then, we been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh. She got that look in her eye. Let's tell what I'm riding.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. Hey, what's up, and welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. Today will be an abbreviated show, but we do have a special guest today, Miss Whitehead.
Hello.
From the New Vision House of Hope Incorporated.
Yes.
We'll be talking about some veteran issues over the next couple weeks. And I invited her here to kind of give insight on what her organization does and an upcoming event that they have. So without further ado, I'm just going to let her introduce herself and give us a little bit of mission and foundation for the organization.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Whitehead. I am a case manager at New Vision House of Hope. I work with a team of other case managers, and through the program we facilitate the supportive services for veterans and their families grant. Now back to New Vision House of Hope Incorporated. New Vision has been in existence for over 10 years.
Okay.
And we've been providing transitional housing. We provide permanent housing placement to Baltimore City's citizens, not just veterans, because we also have a transitional housing program, we have a substance abuse program, and up and coming a PRP program. So there are a variety of services that New Vision House of Hope provides.
So what's the qualification other than just being a veteran? Is that the only qualification, or?
You have to be a veteran with a discharge status of other than dishonorable.
Okay.
You have to meet certain income guidelines. So we have walk-in hours, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. A veteran can come in, be assessed, and determine in what ways we can assist them. So we assist veterans in one of two ways.
Okay.
A homeless veteran, meaning literally homeless on a street, in a transitional housing program, or in a shelter.
Okay.
And we also assist veterans who are at risk of becoming homeless, which means they're facing eviction. So we invite the veteran to come in, bring in, their documents, and we'll assess and see if we can indeed help them with their housing issues.
So how large is this special population of people who need this help? Specifically in the city, you have branches outside of the city, but specifically in the city, how large is that population?
So there are over 800 veterans facing homelessness or who are homeless in the Baltimore City region.
That are documented right now.
Yes.
So how did that become an issue if they did their time, and do their benefits stop once they're discharged, or?
So when a veteran is in the service, they get discharged. They don't necessarily come out with all of the knowledge that they need to navigate whatever city they're in to get connected to services.
So what resources are available to them?
There are many resources available, especially through the VA. However, there are also restrictions. So sometimes you have to have done 24 months of active duty service to be eligible, say, for VA health care.
Oh, wow.
And not all veterans come out of the service aware of what to do to them.
So what, other than maybe like a health issue or something physical that will prevent you from having that much time, and what would happen to them then? Do they get a certain level of care or none at all?
They get none at all.
Oh, wow.
If they don't meet the guidelines for the VA. The number one being the length of time, their length of service, or it could be discharge status.
Okay.
So there's honorable, there's general under honorable, and then there's dishonorable, but not every veteran comes out of the service with an honorable discharge status.
Why?
Or the
Why would
amount of
that be?
time. Sometimes there's mental health, sometimes there's physical health issues. There are a variety of reasons that the veteran may come out.
But they're tested for those things before they go in, correct?
I don't know
Not
if
really.
tested is the right word, but they do go
Seem
through
opposition.
several assessments prior to going into the service. But, just with any new venture, what you know prior to going in may be a little bit different than when you actually are in the service.
So for all they know, this could have developed over the course of time that they were there, and it just didn't. So if there aren't any war time, or active duty doesn't necessarily mean war.
Correct.
But so most of the people who you see, do they fall in that range of people who didn't qualify for, say, the VA, or?
I would say it's, 50-50 of those who are connected to the VA and eligible for services versus those who are not.
Right.
So, for example, a veteran may come to me who was a sniper.
Okay.
He or she has seen some not so nice things, and they're going to come out suffering with PTSD and other issues. So they may not come out connected to the VA. So when they get to us, because they may not have any family in Baltimore City, so they're considered a homeless.
But they were stationed here
or they were discharged here.
Okay. But one of the things that I've always been interested is, so if they've done their time and whatever circumstances led them to no longer being active duty, why aren't the resources just readily available for them? Is it a reason, or is just those are the guidelines that were set, and that's what they have to?
Those are the guidelines that were set. 24 months of active duty service and your discharge status matters.
Okay.
So there are services out there which we will have at our stand down that can help a veteran appeal to the VA to better their discharge status, to get an upgrade. So
can you help them beyond that if they don't qualify for that 24-month or the other criteria? Can you help them?
We help them with connection to the services within Baltimore City that's able
That's for the everyday person, probably.
For the veteran, yes, because our program only services veterans.
Okay. No, I'm just saying in terms of the people who don't meet the qualifications.
Correct.
You just give them some other resources that would be more general. Is it, so a lot of the skill sets that they develop in service, do they always translate to a job when they come out?
Not always.
Is that a bigger problem, or is that a big issue that you see?
A large amount of the veterans that we encounter have mental health issues that present barriers to employment. They may be able to get the job, but then they may not be able to keep the job.
Is mental health a big portion of your workflow now?
Yes.
So, and that's the part that I'm not understanding, because most of the people who are veterans that are out here, maybe homeless or whatever, they are over that 24-month period. So I'm quite sure, why aren't they all being qualified? Because most of them have that. Most of them are in the service for years on years.
You may think that most of them have that 24-month time frame. Some of them do and some of them don't. But it also depends on the severity of their mental health disorder, whatever it is that's keeping them on the street.
Right.
So the mental health coupled with substance abuse makes it very hard to maintain employment.
Okay.
If you can't maintain your employment, then you can't maintain your housing either.
So in terms of the ones that do qualify, and is that a smaller number or a larger number than the people who aren't qualifying, or is it kind of in the middle?
It's kind of in the middle, I would say.
So for the ones who do qualify for those services, are they, say for the health insurance portion of it, are they still under the same restrictions in terms of the open market system that they're trying to develop, or do they have to go through a separate process in terms of healthcare?
So there are some options.
Okay.
There's VA healthcare.
Okay.
There is Medicaid through the state. And then for those veterans who are employed, some of them have access to healthcare through their employer.
Okay. So for the ones who may not be on the extreme of, say, homelessness, what are some of the issues that they are facing that your company, your organization helps them with?
Those that are facing eviction may need assistance being connected to employment opportunities.
Okay.
So we partner with different organizations throughout the city that would help the veteran with resume writing, with getting the proper clothing to go on an interview, and then actually going on the interview. Once they get the job, we're able to assist with bus passes to help them get back and forth until they start receiving a paycheck on a regular basis.
So how do you follow up with them, like over time? Are they under your care for a certain amount of time, or until they phase out of the program?
So our program is short term. It's a 90-day program with the option to recertify at the end of the 90 days if services are still needed.
Okay. What's the age range that you're seeing? Is it younger or older, or?
It's a wide range. I would say typically 25 and up. 25? Yes, sir.
Wow. When we hear veteran, I'm thinking of my great uncle or somebody 60 and above.
Oh, no.
But why would a 25-year-old, are they being dishonorably discharged, or they're leaving before their time? Like,
some of them are just done with their service time and they've chosen not to re-up. So they do their 2 years or less than that. They come out. They didn't live here. They may or may not have family here that welcomes them in or not. So if they have family, they're allowed to stay for a little while. We enroll them into our program. We do a full assessment to determine what their barriers are. Housing, employment, healthcare, connection to the VA.
Does the government still assist with education? Like,
they do.
Maybe going back to school?
They do.
Do a lot of them choose that option, or?
Not too many choose the option of going back to school, but we have had quite a few younger veterans choose to go into college.
I'm just baffled at 25. So if they're 25-year-olds, there has to be some that's maybe a younger, but that don't make up the majority. But I can't imagine somebody that young, not being able to receive any resources? Because there has to be some type of issue that would make them not return or re-enlist, or...
They don't come out of the service with a packet that gives them direction on what to do.
You just go wherever you are.
You're done where you're going. Good luck.
And I hate to liken it to this, but this sounds like jail. It sounds like when they release you from jail, it's like you leave with what you came with, and that's it. Does that sound fair, or?
I wouldn't say it's jail.
Okay. I'm just saying not jail in terms of what they do in there, but how they release them.
Well, when they get to me, because I've not been in the service, I can't say how they release them. When they get to me, and they're not connected to the VA or they're not connected to health insurance, then that's my job to make sure that we make those connections. First and foremost to the VA for health care or whatever needs they may have, should they qualify.
Okay.
And if not, then I go to the state's services to get them what they need.
And between them two, you can pretty much help a lot of them, the bulk of them.
Yes.
What would they need, or what do you suggest that they have prepared prior to coming to you?
We need their DD-214.
And what's that?
That is their discharge paperwork when they're released from the service.
Okay.
Every branch of service releases the military veteran with a DD-214.
Can they access that, say, if they don't have it, or if something has happened, or how do they acquire that?
We can, if they come to me without the DD-214, we are able to order it or send them over to the federal building.
Okay, so we're going to take one quick commercial break, and then we'll be back for the last part of this interview. So we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com with Miss Whitehead. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Like, the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like, yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up against, go hard. Don't let it. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, it's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel up.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Work them old time with a cast. See where the cash, tell them where the cash. You play it for you gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride. And you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rub burns on the carpet with you.
Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Gotta dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it.
I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
That's where some of the behavior comes in, to establish a behavior that's not conducive for the military. So
Right.
You get kicked out.
Right.
Help you get out.
So we're back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show talking veteran affairs. Well, kind of, sort of.
Veteran services.
Veteran services. And here on the Artist Exchange, we're not just talking to artists, but we're talking to community and engagement individuals who have a wide array of just services and things that they're tackling and dealing with and are activists for. So before we go back into the rest of it, I wanted to get the information on the expo that's coming up.
Okay.
So we can promote that as well.
All right. So on July 19th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., New Vision House of Hope's SSVF program is hosting a veteran stand down. It's going to be held at the Baltimore War Memorial, and that's located at 101 North Gay Street,
right across
from City Hall. And the doors are open at 9:30.
Okay.
We're going to offer an array of resources. The goal of the stand down is to provide access to the resources for the veterans all in one spot.
Okay.
So the VA will be present.
Okay.
There will be legal aid there to help with expungements, discharge upgrades, assistance with obtaining Social Security benefits. There will be employers on site. The Department of Labor and Licensing, DLLR, will be there for employment services as well. Easter Seals will be there. University of Maryland's Health Advantage will be there to talk with our veterans about getting health care when they already have Medicare or Medicaid. Gosh, we have so many vendors that are going to be present. But in addition to the veterans, we're also going to have some exercise opportunities. We're going to exercise in motion. We hope to have some health screenings there, blood pressure screenings. So we are also concerned with the health of our veterans. There'll be health education. Who else is going to be there? We're going to have giveaways. That's always fun. And we'll have lunch. There'll be some food available, hot food.
Are you looking for volunteers?
I am looking for some volunteers to help us with setup and breakdown.
Okay. How would one reach out to you?
Anyone interested in assisting us with our effort can contact myself at 410-466-8558, and my extension is 112. Just give me a call.
And I'll put that information up on our social media as well.
Thank you.
One of the questions that I asked during the break was, compared to somebody who is maybe a few months out of service or a couple years versus somebody who is decades out, is the process still the same for them? In terms
The process is the same. And that process would be to go to the VA to be assessed to see if you qualify for the services.
Okay.
And that's done at the VA hospital at 10 North Green Street.
Okay.
In addition to services being available at the hospital, the VA also has what's called the VA Annex. On the second floor of that building is the CRRC, Community Referrals and Resource Center, where you can sit down with a VA case manager and talk about what your barriers are, what your needs are, and get connected in that way as well.
Now, in terms of, so why would they come to you? So when do you see them?
So if a veteran, again, is homeless and they need to identify housing, that's the focus of our program, is getting homeless veterans off the street and out of the shelters. And to also keep the veteran off the street. That would be the eviction prevention part of our program. So we would assist with temporary financial assistance, meaning help with a security deposit if they qualify. It may be a security deposit, first month's rent. Again, we do connection to employment, connection to the VA, and other resources across the city. SNAP benefits, TDAP, temporary disability, should they not be able to work for any health reasons.
So in terms of, I'll ask, how would someone help, like say donating, because you're a nonprofit, so how would somebody benefit in terms of, not benefit, but help you in terms of financial or volunteering, or how would someone be able to do that?
Again, they could contact our office and talk with myself or our program coordinator about what services we are in need of currently. We have a food pantry that we keep on hand. We always are looking for food to feed veterans who come in who don't have any food. Okay.
So in terms of the government now, has your funding been good, or is funding for veterans the same, or has it changed?
So we've held this grant since 2013.
Okay.
So we're still here, so I would say it's pretty good.
So support for veterans hasn't really gone down with the economy or anything? It's still a priority for
veterans are definitely a priority.
So what about those veterans that may have children or family?
We serve the whole family.
Okay.
So
it's not just the individual.
Our program services 250 programs during our 250 veterans during our fiscal year.
So what are the services? Are they more like the SNAP program and stuff like that for the family when it's more than one, or are families being affected by the discharge?
Families. The veteran comes in, he may have a wife. The family is whoever the veteran says his family is. So it could be a 65-year-old veteran who comes in, he has a wife, he has his daughter, and he has his grandchildren.
Is that a big issue too with the families, or are there more single individuals that are having these issues?
I would say there are more single veterans than families that we serve for our program.
My something that I always wondered, so when they're in service, they get a regular paycheck.
Correct.
When they leave, that check is cut off.
They no longer work for the government, they're discharged.
So then their benefits, that's when they kick in, or?
Are you talking income benefits?
Right.
So the way that the veteran receives income through the service, if they have a service-connected disability.
Okay.
And that's rated by a percentage from 10% to 100%. If a veteran is deemed 100%, that means they're unemployable and they receive money on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So it depends on the degree of their disability, and that ranges from mental health to physical health.
Okay. Is it, in my experience, has been more with younger veterans who did not understand, as we were talking during the break, didn't understand all that this was going to take, or just did their time and was like, you know what, this is not for me anymore. So I've wondered, how do they then benefit? Do you have some of them that say, okay, you know what, I'm going to return back to service because they didn't know how hard it would be transitioning? Do you have a lot that decide to go back, or?
I have not had a lot that have decided to go back into the service. I've had myself probably 2 persons who have considered going back in because the structure that the military provides works for them.
Right.
And when they come out and is all of this, they don't transition well into civilian life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like a career student who just keep going back.
Yes.
Going back.
Yes.
I just, so overall, your company, your organization is really here to help with those wraparound services that may be needed in transitioning or just supporting somebody who necessarily did not have maybe a foundation or a support system in place. So how are you all empowering them to not be stuck? Even though your program is a 90-day, a short term, how do you keep them from coming back or needing more assistance even after the 90 days is over?
So when we initially assess them, we try to address all of the barriers. And by addressing the barriers that they walk in the door with, when they walk back out, they are employed. They're stably housed. They're connected to the VA, ideally. If they need mental health care, they're connected to everything that they need, so that when we are done, when we step out of the picture, they're able to sustain their life on their own. But they know, should they run into an issue down the road, they can give us a call and come back.
So they can come back and return.
Yes.
Okay. In those 90 days, how do you treat them? Is it like a day-to-day program, or they just come in as needed? Or
we provide intensive case management. So we see our clients on a weekly basis. And that sometimes varies, especially if they're employed. It could be bi-weekly.
Because they are transitioning out.
Correct.
What are some of the things that you would say are the difficulties in helping individuals in this situation? What are some of the kind of the roadblocks?
Some of the bigger barriers that we face would be maybe someone who's coming out of the prison system, and they may have some restrictions associated with their release, and placing them into appropriate housing can be difficult.
Is that a big portion of your clients as well?
It's a fair portion. I wouldn't say it's a big portion.
Does that make it hard to help in terms of, say, the employment side, or are there things that you can help them with transitioning into certain types of employment?
With our partners, we're pretty much able to find employment for all of our veterans, those with and without barriers.
And I think I asked you earlier, but the skill sets, because a lot of them have specialty fields that they work in, has that changed in terms of them coming out with solid work experience or certain skill sets, or are they just open depending on the person?
Some are open, and some have specific ideas of what they want to do in their career.
Based on what they did in the service?
In the service, yes.
So in terms of the younger people that are coming out, because when you say 25, I can just remember being 25 and still not having a handle on life How is it working with the younger ones? And based on the older ones are sometimes stuck in their ways, but the younger ones, what are the help that they normally need?
My youngest veteran was 23.
Wow. So he had probably just gotten.
Yes, they go in pretty much right out of high school. They do 2 to 4 years and what have you. And then they come out. So there are younger veterans. They just require a little more guidance, but they're eager.
Right.
And they are apt to get out there and do all the things that they need to do to get back on their feet, to be settled and stable in housing.
So for your program, you gave us kind of some of the things that they should be prepared with. You said the DD
214
form, and
they need a Maryland state ID, a social security card, a birth certificate, and proof of income. I think that's it.
And that helps you to kind of lay the foundation to see what their needs are from that point.
Well, those are required documentation for our program.
Okay.
So if they come in and they happen to not have those documents, we help them to secure them and obtain them, yes.
So when you are assessing them, and we've said earlier on in this conversation, mental health seems to probably be that biggest red flag. What services do you have? Are they on site or are they sent out as well?
They're sent out.
Okay.
So the first line is connection to the VA. With connection to the VA are the mental health services.
So you often see these individuals before they've gone to the VA?
Yes, sometimes we do, yes.
So it's probably a bigger thing to be able to just refer them to that organization. Is it that easy?
Sometimes it's just you make the referral, you go over to the VA, you are assessed over there, and then you get connected with a primary care physician, and that primary care physician directs your care to the mental health provider.
So in short, you're going to come back next week and we're going to talk more, but give us the information for the upcoming, I keep calling it an expo. It's not an expo.
No, it's a veteran stand down. Here you are.
So give us how we can contact you in terms of, do veterans need to register? Do they just show up?
They just need to come on in. Come down to the Baltimore War Memorial. The doors are going to open at 9:30. Have some breakfast. Learn about the services that are available to you in the Baltimore area. Have a little fun. Do a little bit of exercise with us. We're going to have a band of veterans. So there'll be a lot of resources and opportunities there for employment, for legal help, for lots of things.
So one more time, I asked you a couple times, but what do they need coming into that door? The forms, the
my door,
and to this,
they just need to come.
Okay, just come.
Just come. Just bring themselves.
So we're going to talk with Ms. Whitehead a little bit more, and maybe you'll bring some other individuals in, or we can talk to some other individuals, and I'll put the information up. We'll post a flyer as well, and we'll be back next week, next Monday, same time, 5 p.m. So don't go anywhere. Well, don't go anywhere, because I'll be back after the break. So the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BigExposedRadio.com. See you later.
Bye.
You are now listening to Just a Bit Outside, the sports radio show at BeExposedRadio.com. Come join us every Monday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, or BeExposedRadio.com.
So we had a lot of things going on.
Mother's Day, Major League Baseball, pink bats, pink outfits.
Yeah. They certainly did the mothers good. They don't show them justice. Like Jimmy said, the pink bats, cleats, all types of pink highlights in the major leagues. The Orioles were swept by the Kansas City Royals.
Wah, wah.
The Kansas City Royals. Thank you, Eric. Kansas City Royals is they're like one of the worst teams in the Major League Baseball right now. Yeah, so that was a little That was a little tough.
Yeah, so the Orioles no longer
For the home team.
have the top record. It belongs to the Washington Nationals now.
Yeah, so that was tough. So hopefully they'll get back on track with the next series. Maryland, we got some local sports, collegiate to report. The Maryland lacrosse. Let's shout out the Maryland lacrosse team. They are in the NCAA tournament, and they...
Hey, this is Mark, just a bit outside on BeExposedRadio.com. Listen to us every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube.
Fall into this unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. With the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show me love, she couldn't. It's all from me. Oh no, she couldn't. It's all from me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark. Show me love, she couldn't. It's all from me. We do whatever you like. It's all from me. Oh no, she couldn't. It's all from me. So let's slide, you and me alone, to find who we really are. Crash into something new. I got ballet bringing up the car. You told me you kiss, told me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, I wanna take you, but we gotta groove so we can lose the crowd. If you wanna rule, there's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show me love, she couldn't. It's all from me. Oh no, she couldn't. It's all from me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark. Show me love, she couldn't. It's all from me. We do whatever you like. It's all from me. Oh no, she couldn't. It's all from me.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So we have those, especially the women's issue, but I asked only because I was just reading the article. So welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. I said today is going to be an abbreviated show. It just was a lot on my plate this weekend, so we're going to come back fresh on Friday. We have a phenomenal theater group that's coming in, and they're doing some women-centered productions at a local theater house, so we'll have them here. And of course, Blue and Noah will be joining us as well, so it's going to be a packed house in here on Friday. And then on Monday, we'll be back with this organization, New Vision House of Hope Incorporated, and they'll be giving us more information on the veteran stand down. So come on back. If you have issues that you want to be spoke about, and you want to come on and kind of promote those things and kind of get into the discussion of it, and not just the marketing side of it, but kind of discussing those issues and gaining some awareness and support for those, come on down. You can email me directly at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, or you can email us at the station at info@beexposedradio.com. So this has been another installation of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Join us this coming Friday at 5 p.m. That's our temporary time slot for right now, Mondays and Fridays, 5 to 7, and then once the summer is over, we'll be back at our 2 to 4 mark. So again, peace out. I may go live a little bit later. I'm definitely going to post the flyer and the information. So stay tuned, stay locked in. Next up is Just a Bit Outside, a radio show at 7 o'clock. So stay tuned in for that. See y'all later. Peace out.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org.
You made them. Take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real. That's the real deal.
It's period.
And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money